Hello, my name is Charles Ickerman. I'm the Group CEO of AVeS Cyber Security, and it's a great privilege for me to actually have a chat with you today what AVeS is all about and the group itself. We're a group of companies, and AVeS is sort of like the core where it all started, and then it evolved in the world of IoT and NPA in terms of cyber foundation and an infrastructure business and so on. Just a quick brief overview of AVeS Cyber Security. I mean, we've been operating since '98, so I've been in the industry for quite some time. We have in South Africa, we have just over 600 direct clients. Now, direct clients are clients that we are engaging with directly, and then we've got about 2,000 plus indirect clients, and these are specific clients that we are doing on behalf of the insurance industry. We've got various vendor and industry recognitions throughout these years, and we are 100% South African owned. Every few years we create a new vision, and our vision is, we call it Destiny 25. And this is all about the what. It's all about like, what do we want to achieve? And I do believe if you've got a love for something and you take a bit of risk and you keep on persevering, you'll probably reach your destiny. So, and our destiny that we want to reach by 2025 is to be a global OEM, and OEM meaning a service provider in IT governance and architectural services throughout the whole world. In order to do that, it all sounds very nice. Is like, how do you make that happen? So obviously you have to create a bit of a game plan in terms of how you execute that. So our whole methodology or our game plan in terms of how we do it is everything starts with assessment. So when we engage with a client, we always start with an assessment. It is not selling products and services into a client. Anyone can sell products and services to a client and just drop them. But it's understanding the core requirements of an organization first. So understanding the enterprise objectives and understand what the company wants to achieve. Once we've done that and we know where we are standing, then we move over on creating a proper execution plan. So we can call it a strategy, we can call it a IT and governance plan, and then only step 3 do we start with a remediation phase. And this is where we start implementing and executing the products and services in the organization which is aligned to the governance plan. And then fourthly is training and awareness. So it's all very good putting a plan together, but if you don't have the finger marks of the whole organization on that plan, you really cannot execute as effectively as you would like. So it's very important to do the training and awareness regarding cybersecurity, regarding the IT that you want to implement, but get everyone involved in the organization as quick as possible, because that really creates a fast track that you spend the minimum amount of time to actually execute the maximum amount of technology and processes in the organization. And then it's also important to monitor it, and there's a multiple-fold reason for the monitoring part. The one is to make sure that you get the ROI that you initially anticipated in terms of your IT plan that you've got, and also to identify certain risks and things much more proactively. It's no use trying to resolve things once it's gone wrong. You already want to create a bit of a predictability. So we've created the whole concept of managed predictability, and that is to sort of like create the predictability from an IT perspective in your organization. Now, that doesn't happen by itself. It has to be managed. So again, there you have to put the processes in place in order to create that predictability in the organization. And then lastly is the incident response. Every organization will be compromised at some stage. They say there's 2 types of organizations: those that know that they've been compromised and those that don't know that they've been compromised. So every organization is going to have a compromise of some sort at some stage. Data that's been leaked, maybe not because of their own will. This could be something like an Experian or any one of the other organizations where confidential information has been leaked, which means that your information is also being compromised in the process. So you are going to have an incident, and it could be internal threats, it could be external, and it's then very important for us to then execute when things do go wrong. It's almost like a car and it's got a flat tire. You are going to have a flat tire. There's a question of how quickly do we recover. So in order to take that whole methodology, what you basically do is you take your technology that you want to implement, you take your people component, you take the business processes, and you take the organization culture, And all four of these things really need to be in sync in order to make sure that you create the most leanest, most effective way of executing your information technology strategy in your organization. In terms of the why, so if that was the what, that's the what that we're trying to create. The why and the purpose, why we're actually doing it. Again, it's not to implement technology in the organization per se. That's not what it's about. It's all about helping the organization to reduce risk. That's the one starting point, reduce risk. It's also to create consistency. I mean, what the organization wants, it needs to ensure that whatever delivers today is also being delivered tomorrow. And you need to create consistency. And again, consistency is not something that just happens. You need to put the necessary governance practices in place in order to make sure that there's a common recipe, or almost like a common hymn sheet, where everyone understands exactly what their role is in terms of the execution of that plan. So you have to create a whole lot of consistency. Also increase efficiency. I mean, we know this from COVID. A lot of organizations are very cash strapped, which means there's a lot of pressure in order to make sure that we get more for less. So spending less money to get more value out of our technology at a lower risk at the same time as well. It's also important to create empowerment for the organization so that everyone's fingerprints are literally on the plans that we are basically executing. And then also operate intelligently. And to operate intelligently is again about that predictive monitoring. It's about monitoring all the KPIs, not just from a human perspective, but also from an IT point of view, in order to make sure that we get maximum return on what we've implemented. Then the next slide is just about some of our vendors. I mean, our vendors, they are a key in terms of our success. I mean, we don't develop software. We really take the best of breed technology out there and see what is the most appropriate and fit for purpose for the organization. So we also don't just go and forklift software just by rip and replacing vendors and software in organization. We first see what they do have and what kind of investments has already been made, so that we can have a maximum leverage on that technology to start off with. Because you would also find that the people in the organization already understand part of the technologies, and you have to sort of like use that to the best of your ability. And then the next slide is just about some of our key clients. There are some corporate clients in there. They don't particularly like their names to be displayed, so they're not on there for cyber security reasons. So they don't like it to be displayed. But we've got a bouquet of blue chip organizations that we focus on. And then our last slide I want to touch on to is probably the most important slide that I can have, and that is like, we're a people organization, and by the way, we do IT. So for us, it's all about people. We are selling our expertise, as I mentioned right in the beginning. We're an IT governance and architectural consultancy. So for us, it's all about our people. You can go and buy products and services everywhere, anywhere. So they are on the open market, and you can, get the best pricing, but that's not what it's about. It's about structuring it, and that's where people comes in. So that's what we are selling, is really our people skills in the organization. And then, I think the last point for me is that as an organization, we really, really strive to be remarkable. Remarkable for us is only if our clients says that we're okay. If our client says that's wow. If our vendors give us recognition in terms of the way and the methodologies that we use in order to implement these different kinds of technologies, if they give us the recognition. So it's all about being remarkable, and we'll keep on striving to be that remarkability, and hope to do it for many more years. Thank you very much. It is a great privilege for me that I could have this time to present to you in terms of what we're doing, because without you, we won't be. So thank you very much, and stay safe.